نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We were reading para number 2. Main articles of this whole para is to enter Islam completely and the duty of the middle ummah. So far we have read verses 142 to 189. Today we will read verses 190 to 203. In these verses, the rules of jihad, anfaq and hajj have been explained. Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah number 190. And fight in the way of Allah those who fight you, but transgress not the limits. Truly Allah likes not the transgressors. This verse is the first one that was revealed in connection with jihad, but it was supplemented by another verse, chapter number 9, verse number 36. This is the first time in this that Muslims have been allowed to fight people. Muslims were always ready to fight, but Allah forbade them to do so. He also said that even though it's allowed to wage war, there are certain boundaries a Muslims cannot cross, such as do not kill women, children and old people who are not involved in the war, and burn trees, etc. In this way, killing animals without any interest is an abuse to be avoided too. This is our religion, which also prevents us from abusing the enemy. Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah number 191. And kill them wherever you find them, and turn them out from where they have turned you out. And al-fitna is worse than killing. And fight not with them at Al-Masjid al-Haram, the sanctuary of Mecca, unless they first fight you there. But if they attack you, then kill them. Such is the recompense of the disbelievers. The reference is to the Quraysh because they drove the Muslims out of the Mecca. Because the Muslims were weak, they were forbidden to fight. After the migration, the Muslims became strong. Most of the people were becoming Muslims. Then they were allowed to wage jihad. The disbelievers drove them out of Mecca, so the Muslims can drive them out of Mecca. So those who did not become Muslims after the conquest of Mecca were ordered to leave after the expiration of treaty. Fitna means shirk, polytheism. It is more severe than killing, so one should fight to eliminate it. It is forbidden to fight within the limits of Mecca, but if the disbelievers do not observe its sanctity and fight you, then fighting is allowed. Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah number 192. But if they cease, then Allah is oft more forgiving, most merciful. Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah number 193. And fight them until there is no more fitna, disbelief and worshipping of others along with Allah. And all and every kind of worship is for Allah alone. But if they cease, let there be no transgression except against az-zalimun, the polytheists and wrongdoers, etc. What is the purpose of war in Islam? Not that we are too powerful to accumulate wealth or to increase our prestige. Islam does not teach that. It teaches the religion of Allah should prevail. Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah number 194. The second month is for the second month, and for the prohibited things there is the law of equality, qisas. Then whoever transgresses the prohibition against you, you transgress likewise against him. And fear Allah, and know that Allah is with the al-muttaqun, the pious. In 6th Hijrah, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam went to Mecca with 1400 companions for Umrah. But the disbelievers of Mecca let him go, and it was decided that next year the Muslims would be able to come to Mecca for Umrah for 3 days. It was the month of Dhul Qa'dah when the Muslims started going for Umrah in the second year. According to the agreement, Allah Almighty revealed these verses. This means that this time too, if the disbelievers of Mecca violate the sanctity of this month and prevent you from going to Mecca like last year, then you should also ignore its sanctity and confront them and teach a lesson to the disbelievers. Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah number 195. And spend in the cause of Allah, that is jihad of all kinds, etc. and do not throw yourselves into destruction by not spending your wealth in the cause of Allah. And do good, truly. Allah loves al-muhsinun, the good doers. Spend in the way of Allah Almighty. You know that spending in the way of Allah Almighty increases wealth. What is being said here is that you can destroy with your own hands, like not spending, not doing jihad. What will happen if the enemy becomes strong and we become weak, which will lead to destruction? So we are being told to do good, and Allah loves those who do good. Surah Al-Baqarah, Ayah 196, and perform properly, that is, all the ceremonies according to the ways of Prophet Muhammad, the Hajj and Umrah, that is, the pilgrimage to Mecca for Allah. But if you are prevented from completing them, sacrifice a hadi, animal, that is, a sheep, a cow, or a camel, etc., such as you can afford, and do not shave your heads until the hadi reaches the place of sacrifice. And whosoever of you is ill or has an ailment in his scalp necessitating the shaving, he must pay a fidya, ransom, or either observing Sawm, fasts, 3 days, or giving sadaqah, charity, feeding 6 poor persons, or offering sacrifice 1 sheep. Then if you are in safety, and whosoever performs the Umrah in the months of Hajj, before performing the Hajj, that is, Hajj at-Tamattu and Al-Qiran, he must slaughter a hadi such as he can afford. But if he cannot afford it, he should observe Sawm, fasts, 3 days during the Hajj and 7 days after his return to his home, making 10 days in all. This is for him whose family is not present. Performing Hajj and Umrah means to be called according to the etiquette and conditions, that is, to fulfill the duties that come with it. Besides, the intention of Hajj is not to do any business. If there were any enemies on the way, if there was an obstacle due to the serious illness, then an animal should be given as ransom, goat, cow, or camel. Slaughter whatever is available, shave your head, and become halal. If you are in a state of peace, do not shave your head until all the rites of Hajj are completed. If there is any problem and the hair of the head has to be shaved, then its redemption is necessary. According to the Hadith, such a person feeds 6 poor people, or slaughter 1 goat, or fast for 3 days. There are 3 types of Hajj. Number 1. Enter Ihram only with the intention of Hajj. Number 2. Entering Ihram with Hajj and Umrah. Or number 3. Having the intention of both Hajj and Umrah, but Ihram is made with the intention of Umrah only, and after performing Umrah, the Ihram is opened and the Ihram is made again from Mecca for Hajj on the 8th of Dhul Hajj. That is, in the middle, the Ihram is opened and the benefit is taken. In both Hajj, one has to sacrifice an animal. In this verse, the command to perform Hajj has been stated. On the 10th of Hajj, person is going to offer a sacrifice, or if not possible, then 3 days of fasting after going home.